Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're trying to cut through some of the noise around these lazy side hustles.
Right. There's a lot of talk.
Yeah, you've probably seen the headlines. We just want to give you the core insights, why this trend's taking off.
And maybe spotlight one particularly interesting example.
Exactly. Think of it as getting you quickly up to speed on a pretty big shift in how people are earning money these days.
Yeah, it's a fascinating response, really, to the economic pressures we're seeing.
So this term lazy side hustle, it sounds a bit contradictory, doesn't it?
It really does. But despite that name, it's not really about doing nothing. Often it's more of a necessary adaptation.
Adaptation to what? Cost of living.
That's a big part of it. Rising costs, yeah. But also this feeling maybe that traditional jobs aren't delivering like they used to. Hollow promises, raises that don't keep up.
Makes sense. And our sources suggest younger generations are really leading this.
They seem to be, yeah. Navigating this new landscape, trying different things out.
Okay, so when we talk about these lazy hustles, it's not actually about being lazy.
Not really, no.
It's finding different income streams. Our sources mention things like reselling clothes online, Vinted, places like that.
Yep, that's a common one. Or building up a TikTok following and monetizing it somehow.
Right, and even using AI to generate content that you can then, flip for passive income?
Stuff like that, yeah. It's becoming, well, it's less about just extra pocket money now.
It sounds more like a survival tool for some.
For a growing number, I think that's true.
Yeah.
It's fundamental. That old idea of stability from a traditional job, it feels less certain.
So people are looking for alternatives, more flexible maybe.
Flexible, yes,
Yeah.
but sometimes still quite demanding. Just different demands.
Which, brings us to something our sources mentioned that sounds quite intriguing. Digital real estate.
Yes.
That's not the usual houses and land type of real estate, I'm guessing.
No, not at all. It's an interesting concept, actually.
So what is it?
In this context, digital real estate basically means buying or maybe building websites, but really specific ones.
Niche websites.
Yeah, exactly. Super focused. Think incredibly detailed guides on caring for a specific breed of dog, or maybe comprehensive tutorials for certain DIY home repairs.
Okay, targeting a very specific audience.
Precisely. The goal is to attract people who are actively searching for that very specific information.
And how does owning one of these sites actually make money? Where does the income come from?
Well, the main ways are usually advertising revenue, putting relevant ads on the site, and affiliate marketing.
Affiliate marketing, like recommending products.
Right. You partner with businesses that sell products or services related to your needs. If someone clicks your link and buys something, you get a commission.
Got it. And the income potential. Our sources threw out some, frankly, surprising numbers, like $3,000 to $5,000 a month.
Yeah, for successful sites in popular niches like pet care or home improvement, those figures are definitely possible.
That seems significant. For what sounds maybe deceptively simple, what's the catch? How much work goes into hitting those numbers?
That's the key, isn't it? It might sound simple conceptually, but getting to that income level usually takes consistent effort.
Like what?
Creating good content, keeping the website updated, search engine optimization, to maybe some promotion to actually get people there.
Yeah.
It's definitely not just set it and forget it.
Okay, so not entirely passive, but maybe scalable, more control.
That seems to be the appeal. The scalability and maybe feeling more in control of your time and income compared to a traditional job.
We actually have a quote here from Matt Davis, described as an expert in this. He says, "You identify what people are searching for online, create or buy content that solves their problems, and monetize that traffic."
Right.
He continues. It's straightforward, scalable, and far less stressful than traditional entrepreneurship. That does sound compelling.
It does paint an attractive picture. That idea of lower stress and a more direct link between your effort and your reward, that's a big draw.
So if this is potentially so good and maybe less stressful, why isn't it everywhere? Why haven't we heard more about digital real estate? It feels a bit under the radar.
That's a really interesting question. And our sources actually suggest a reason for that.
Which is?
Apparently, many people who are successful at this, they prefer to keep it quiet.
Really? Why?
Competition. We found this anonymous quote. "Why would I shout from the rooftops about how easy it is? More noise means more competition, so most of us prefer keeping a low profile."
Ah, okay. That makes a certain kind of sense. Keep the gold rush quiet.
Exactly. It's a rational approach in a space where more visibility could mean more people try to do the same thing.
Does that secrecy maybe also hint that it's not quite as easy as that quote implies? Maintaining success might be harder?
That's a very fair point. The initial barrier might seem low, but staying successful probably requires ongoing work, adapting to changes online, keeping content fresh. It likely isn't effortless long term.
Okay, so let's quickly recap. We're seeing this big shift towards alternative ways to earn money, these so-called lazy side hustles.
Driven by economic needs and maybe dissatisfaction with the old ways.
Right, and within that, this idea of digital real estate buying or building niche websites is a fascinating, less talked about option.
With real potential for income, even if it does require consistent effort. It's not passive income, not straight away anyway.
It definitely reflects a bigger change in how people are thinking about work and money.
Absolutely. A sign of the times, really.
So, a final thought for you, our listener. As you go about your day, maybe pay attention to the things you search for online. What problems are you trying to solve? What information do you need?
Because those everyday searches,
Yeah.
they might just point towards untapped niches.
Potential opportunities in this whole digital real estate world, perhaps. Something to think about if you're looking for a different path. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.